Spice King says you can also join as a GM. Someone just buys the table, and the table does not charge. Who is in that role? Who is what role? Gotcha. Correct. As a player, you don't buy anything with Forge. Perfect. I mean, we may see. I mean, if I get to the point where I like, I've seen some videos of people streaming with Foundry, and I like what I see. But because I've made a significant investment into Fantasy Grounds, that's where I stay for the meantime as a DM. But I've played as a DM and a player on Roll20, but I've never done either on Foundry. So I'm aware of them, and I have friends who love them. Just never got into it specifically. All right, let's take this survey. Would you like to provide feedback? Sure. What concerns or questions? Deauthorization. Morality clause. And yeah, put that in there. After reading the proposed OGL, how was your perception of the future of Dungeons & Dragons changed? Much worse. My perception has completely changed that it's much worse. What would be needed to improve your perception? Leave the OGL 1.0A intact. Don't deauthorize it. And focus more on creating a better version of 1DD that brings in new players. Make your product better. Who is that, Christy? Frodo? As long as he doesn't... Alright, is he being cuddle mode right now? How would you rate your level of understanding and level of satisfaction with the Creative Commons Attribute 4.0 International? I have a basic understanding of it, so I'm going to say 4. Satisfaction of it, honestly, I couldn't really care. It's not bad. I'll give it a 4. How would you rate your level of understanding, level of satisfaction with the content found in the SRD or release under high, very high, because we specifically built our Weave and Void sourcebook around the OGL originally. We have since stripped the OGL out, and it's now system agnostic. We're waiting to see what the ORC looks like. Do you have any comments about Curator? No, I don't have any comments. How would you rate your level of understanding, your level of satisfaction with the notice of deauthorization? So this is, okay, so my understanding of it is high. My satisfaction rating is low. Do you have any other comments? Don't do it. End of story. The 1.0A was always meant to be a permanent open license. Next. How would you rate your level of understanding and your level of satisfaction with the types of content covered? So this is them asking my interpretation. Do I understand the content proposed in OGL 1.2? Yes. What's my satisfaction level with the types of content? Low, because they haven't provided me enough specific examples. It's like they talk vaguely. They say this only covers TTRPG and books. It doesn't cover all this other stuff. But yet, if you have a book series that's based on your tabletop world, this is when you get into things can still be affected by your tabletop products. And if Wizards of the Coast doesn't clearly define what things are touched and what things aren't touched, then there's too much ambiguity around it. So my satisfaction level is low. What's my level of understanding and satisfaction with the content ownership rights? I have a high understanding of it. Honestly, the content ownership rights, I'm not too dissatisfied with the current language because they've moved all of it to Creative Commons. However, they still try to make way too much claim on specificities like magic missile and what a magic missile is allowed. Like their owlbear example is really good because they're trying to clearly decide and define that what an owlbear looks like, as well as what it's defined as. And they have some very specific wording in their documentation about artwork that is too similar to their artwork. And I can bet your ass that they're going to turn into a Disney, because Disney does this. Disney will go after people for creating, like, if you do any concept art or anything that looks like a Marvel version of Thor or Loki or any of the Asgardians that are in the Marvel films, if you create anything that looks visually anything remotely like their versions, it's litigation time, because they have locked down what their version of Loki and Thor look like. And so that's what Wizards of the Coast is trying to do, is they're trying to lock down, this is what an owlbear looks like. And if you create anything that even looks remotely like ours, then we reserve the right to come after you for that. So am I satisfied with content rights? Ownership rights? Not as, it's better than it was, because they don't have the license back language or anything else. So I will give credit here. I won't give them a completely low, but I'll give them a 2, because there needs to be some more definition in here. Because they're also trying to, I need to fully understand all the rights of everything, and it hasn't been defined yet. How would you rate level of understanding and level of satisfaction? You control your content. I'm okay with that, and it's better than it was. So yeah. How would you rate level of understanding and level of satisfaction with warranties and disclaimers? High understanding, absolutely abysmal satisfaction. Modification termination, high understanding, low satisfaction. How would you rate level of understanding, level of satisfaction with the virtual tabletop policy? High understanding, low satisfaction. I don't leave very many comments, but occasionally I will. Have you used the OGL? Yes, I have. Do you want to create third-party content for Dungeons & Dragons future? Hell to the no. Will you be comfortable releasing TTRPG on 2%? Nope. Absolutely not. All of the reasons previously stated in this survey. Compared to the OGL 1.0, do you feel that you would be able to continue developing content the same way? Nope. Why do you say that? See previous answers to questions in this survey. How would you rate your interest in using the content creator badge as part of your third-party works? Nope. Although I will say my distinction, here's the caveat. I don't create D&D content. I create homebrew content. I'm not going to be slapping a content creator badge on homebrew. It's my world, my IP. If I was creating D&D branded content for Forgotten Realms or Dragonlance, that would be a different story. I would probably then include that. Like if I was, what is it called? Is it the DM's Guild? Is that where people sell their homebrew stuff set in like the official worlds? I think it's called DM's Guild. If I was creating something for there to try to sell through the D&D ecosystem, then I would want to use the content creator badge. But if I'm creating third-party homebrew, I don't want to touch your content creator badge. Like, no. You can save your answers and come back to it. What other feedback do you have for us? Don't deauthorize. Not give people the choice. All right, so I've officially filled out the survey. It says they're going to make the results of the survey available on February 17th. Okay, interesting.